Hey Clashers, the new epic equipment, the Stick Horse, is now in the game, and this means we're going to cover the 4 most common questions, which means how strong is this equipment, and what strategies should you try to use it, and where should you try to avoid using it, what pets should you combine with this equipment and the king, and the last one, what is the minimum level to use, and where you should have that equipment to actually get great value. Let's kick things off with where you should try to avoid using this equipment. In most air attacks, I feel like it doesn't really help having a hero charging into the base because you try to typically avoid luring out the clan castle with your ground heroes, and the Stick Horse doesn't really help that. The next one, with having warden charges, I feel like a lot of times the Spiky Ball and the Earthquake Boots are a little bit better when using on the king with those strategies. As well, something you should try to avoid is the Angry Jelly on that Barbarian King, especially in Ranked, which means as well in Legends, because you can see right here, we cannot even go for the Town Hall because this pet is limiting us way too much. In Clan War, you can go crazy, but in Ranked and Legends, you should go for either the Phoenix like right here or the Frosty. Now talking about the most common attack strategies where you should try to use it, and those are smash type attacks. Because this is where this equipment gives you a ton of value, and this is really where if you're playing those strategies, that's when you should actually get that equipment. First things first, what are your options here? You typically, with the smash attack, have always an opening part. This can be a different type of starters, which means like a warden charge with some lightnings like right here, as well as some furnace to make sure that we're speeding things up. You could do a Royal Chamber charge. You could do a Warden charge with Fireball. We're going to take a look at those examples as well in just a second. But just for the beginning, it's the Warden walk with the Lightnings and with those Furnace. The follow-up now is the Smash type, which means you can go with anything which is somewhat tanky and can just get healed up back again from healers or druids, for example. Which means throwers work great. Super Bowlers work great, Meteor Golems work great, Super Witches, Super Yetis, and the list goes on. But by now you know what exactly I mean. Which means, in this example, we're going in with the throwers. Now, the next part about the attack kind of depends on how wide your opening is after your Warden charge or your Royal Chamber charge or whatever you have decided to go with in the beginning. If the entry point is somewhat not too wide, you're having your main push and your queen right next to it, and then you're using pretty much the king as a shield for your royal champion diving into the base. The reason here why we're going with the Phoenix or Frosty instead of the Angry Jelly is because the king can at the same time already clean up and push as well and funnel as well the other parts of the attack, which is then super crucial because those throwers are going to stay inside the middle of the base because they cannot get distracted from the flanks. Then, as well, talking about the combination and the options you have here. I really like the combination between the Stick Horse and the Giant Gauntlet. But to be honest, if you want to go more aggressive, you can totally use the Spiky Ball in combination with the Stick Horse as well. Which means you're less tanky and you're just dealing more damage. But to be honest, with the Royal Chamber right behind, I just like the Gauntlet a little bit better. Because this just means your king is a giant sponge of taking damage, and a Royal Champion can survive really long. In this one, we went into the bait because there was, well, a tornado, a ton of traps, so the Royal Champion went down, but the king still did the job, and with that, it's an easy 3-star. As well with the Royal Champion, you have some options here. You can go with Electro Boots and the Frost Flake. You can go with the Rocket Spear, like in this example. You can rotate around here. The equipment, depending on what strategy you're going with, you can rotate those like that footage for sure. Something which I would as well tell you is, I've seen some suggestions like iTzu, go for a really attack speed king build and go for the Vamp Stash with the Stick Horse. If you want to record a video and you want to create the craziest attack speed on your king, do it. If you want to actually maximize the equipment and the value, don't do it. Vamp Stash is just a really bad equipment. Try to not use it, especially if you're on higher town level. So I can just recommend to you either going with the Giant Gauntlet or with the Spiky Ball, while my preference personally would be the Giant Gauntlet. But let's get to the next attack. This one now around is having a different main part and a different opening. As I said, the follow-up though is always the same. This one now is the Royal Champion charge in the beginning, but the follow-up now is just with the super bonus. As well, this one, the opening is a little bit wider. And this means I will have the queen on the flank and then the king kind of in between my main push with the royal champion. So this is kind of what you have to always decide, and where you have to decide this on is how wide your opening is. The super bonus now are getting pushed back to the tower because we have this funneling happening at this bottom side. Now popping the rocket spear, so the royal champion is staying behind. I can use the king now as well. The king is tanking non-stop damage. And just take a look at that. This entire bottom side is taken care of. And what this does is it funnels your main push, your super bonus, or whatever poison you picked pretty much. It saves your queen because she's on the outside and there's no defenses left in the second layer where she cannot reach those. And now your super bonus just go through the base because you have the torch with this combination. Super bonus are really great with the torch together. And it's just GG. It is insane with smash attacks. This is literally what I'm trying to tell you, because the stick horse is a kind of more niche equipment where it's not great in an all-rounder for every attack. Like, for example, I don't know, the spiky ball or something, which is typically or can be typically used on pretty much every single attack strategy. Or the action figure, for example. This one is more niche, more base dependent if you want to go more creative. But if you try to use it for legends, then I can just recommend it to you mostly for those smash type attacks. But just to show you as many different options as possible, I have a third one now, since we have done now a Warden Walk with Zaps and Furnace. We have done our Royal Gem in Charge, and now we're doing a Fireball with just Super Witches as a follow-up. Obviously, again, you can combine those as you wish, which means we could do as well with Super Yetis the follow-up. We can do with whatever you want. I just really like Super Witches, so that's why I'm picking them. Start things off with the Fireball, get that pathing right, and now again, you have to think about the entry point. How wide is your entry? If your main push and the outside corner is really close to each other, then you can just use your king somewhere different. If, like for example right here, we have at this bottom side, the Super Witches in, and the far left side, that's where we're deploying the queen. There's a lot of space in between, and that's exactly where we're going to deploy that king with the Royal Champion. And because we're having the king, the Royal Champion just does not take damage. And even on later stages, you have that king with the Phoenix coming back, so your Royal Champion pretty much is kind of unkillable as long as you're not running into every single trap in existence, like in the first attack, for example. But with that being said, you have again the control. The queen on the outside being safe, no second layer threat. The Super Witches or your main push being safe. They're going to the direction where you want them to go because your king is pushing them exactly in that direction. The Royal Champ following and being really the DPS behind the king pretty much. You can use the Royal Champ ability whenever you want, and those bases are just crushed. So, let's summarize. First off, this equipment is really, really strong. Is it a must pick, a must buy if you're struggling with other equipments and you're playing other strategies? No. It is a really, really strong equipment for this type of attack. It doesn't matter what type of ground troop you're playing, but as long as you're playing those smash attacks, this category of an attack, then I can just recommend highly to get that equipment, because if you have the Gauntlet upgraded or the Spiky Ball upgraded, you're going to have a lot of success with this combination. That being said, what is the minimum level? Well, the minimum level, in my opinion, should be something around level 18. This is where you have most of the power already, while not already spending a ton of ores, or like not too many at least, okay? So you have not spent out of those dairy ores just yet, but at the same time, you're at a sweet spot where you can have, I think, like 18 seconds or something. No, like 26 seconds, sorry, 26 seconds already off that entire duration of the ability. Or is it 24? Let me double check. You can see it. Yep, 24 seconds. So 24 out of 30 seconds, you have that already unlocked, which is more than enough to get great value out of it. Obviously, high level is always better. Don't get me wrong. But this is pretty much it for this equipment. I can highly recommend to you if you're a smash attacker. Otherwise, feel free to use a different equipment or just get Seri Ore in the medal event. Otherwise, as always, thank you so much for watching the video. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash 1. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.